Rode through the town, escalating the mount. Rode through the town, escalating the mounts. Rode through the town, escalating the mount. Rode through the town, escalating the mounts.
Prepping up on my business, be damn if I be last. Late night making plans on how to maintain with getting.
Stop.
All right, welcome you all to another episode of the Black Dot Podcast, Healing for the Soul. And I am joined today. This is the only show where you're going to get like real celebrities coming up on the show. So I'm going to go ahead and do this intro. And you know, when I'm excited, I do good intros. So watch me talk my good shit here. On this episode here, I have somebody that is really close to me. He's been close to me for, gosh, like what, over 10 years now?
Yeah.
Over 10 years now. Has been with me through a lot of my own struggles, mentally, emotionally, whatever I was going through. If I needed him to take care of some piece of business for me, he was there. This is my team member, my brother. I think I'm older than him, but I believe he's older than me. The music that you hear at the beginning of this show and at the end of this show, as y'all heard me say before, Any Means is my favorite song. That and Goodies is my favorite two songs.
I appreciate it. So
who I have today, I have Yae Bishop on the show. Yo, please tell them, talk to the people, talk to the people.
Talk to the people. Yeah, Yae Bishop, Moden gave most of the then took all the words out of my mouth basically. So he gave me a proper introduction. So I ain't really gonna say too much, but it's me, Yae Bishop. And we're here to talk about what the Black Sheep. That's the topic for today. If anything,
yes.
So we're gonna get into that. If anything.
So in doing this, when I first had this idea of doing this show and kind of starting something like this, I remember the first person I had reached out to was Yae, and I told him I have an idea of doing. I remember, I think the first thing we had was like some kind of sessions or something like that. Don't give away the name because I don't want nobody to get that name. It was some kind of sessions that we was talking about doing, and he was like, "How you want to do it? What is it going to be about?" And I was like, "I don't know, but I feel like God is trying to like tell me something. I just don't know what it is." And the one thing he told me was, however you decide to do it, however you need me, I'm there.
Yeah.
And he has proven his words to me every chance that has come up. And the reason why I mention that is because sometimes, and I remember you saying this before we started recording this, sometimes people tend to have a vision. And in having that vision, it's like other people, they don't get it.
Yeah.
You might be one type of way. You might, experience this type of way, or it might cause you to react this type of way. And sometimes other people, they don't get it. And it's like, okay, I hear you, but I'm not really listening to you.
Yeah, you're not being reacted to it, yeah.
We're talking about the Black Sheep today. And with the Black Sheep, you can go to family, you can go to relationships, you can go however you want to take it. But today we are going to talk to Yae about his feelings of sometimes being the black sheep. And yeah, I want to ask you first off, when you think about the black sheep, when you think about that term, how does that relate to you?
Well, just like we mentioned before, like it relates in like many ways. I mean, I'm like, I wouldn't put myself in that department, you know what I mean? Because I feel I'm normal, but other people, they just, like I said, the way that you may do things or you talk or think is different than how another person are used to a person communicating. So I mean, for me, it's like, it's with music, you know, it could be social. I mean, it's anything really, like, but that's not something that I'm like that holds me back really. That just makes me be like, you know, expand even more. It's like, well, all right, I can use that to my advantage instead of it being like, you know, beat myself up about it. So, but I mean, yeah, it's just with music and stuff like that, mainly though.
So one of the things that I've always noticed about black sheeps is oftentimes you may not even notice that you're the black sheep.
Yeah.
You know, you may have a feeling like, you know, okay, I know y'all don't really, you know, care for me like that, or you know, whatever the situation may be, but you
Right.
don't really think about yourself as being the black sheep. And
Right.
sometimes you do know there are some people who can clearly, you know, define themselves as the black sheep, and that's based off of the facts that they have to work with, or based
Yeah.
off of the feelings.
The tools they
Uh,
got to work with. Yeah.
yeah. So my question to you would be, in terms of, and how you said that it doesn't allow you to really, you don't really allow it to hold you back per se.
Yeah.
What does that look like? That process of, okay, I feel like it, but I'm not really gonna give it too much room to fester. What does that look like for you?
I mean, you know, sometimes it could be difficult because it's like, you know, you can start to think so deep about it, and then that's when you start to question yourself and what you doing and everything like that. So I mean, it hits you sometimes. I ain't saying that it don't affect me like fully. Sometimes like it affects me sometimes, like when I tend to overthink about it. But you know, overall, it's just I know I'm capable of. I know where I stand on things, and you know, I know what my goal is when I'm going to do things, and I'm going to execute it. So no matter how I may look to another person, really, you know what I'm saying? That's just how I'm coming off. So I mean, you know, the process, you know, like I say, it can be tricky sometimes, but it's good though. You know what I mean? If you just got that mentality about things, then you be all right.
So you said that sometimes it does affect me.
Yeah. Like
Elaborate on that if you can.
like I said, like like with you being different, just like, well, like I said with music, it's like, dang, like maybe they not, this is never going to register with people because my style is just different, or the way I do things is just different. And like I said, it just messes with you. Be like, well, shoot, maybe this isn't for me. But then it'd be like I said earlier, you can use it to your advantage and be like, well, I got a different sound than anybody else. So why not keep it going? Why not keep it rolling? So that's what I'm saying. With like, you have moments when I tend to think too deep about it, that's when I'd be like, well, I don't know. But then I'd be like, well, your style is different. Your sound is different. Like it stands out. That's good. So yeah, you know, we tend to overwork things like that.
If you're just joining in, you are hearing a conversation. In this conversation, we are looking at the ideal of the black sheep, but we're looking at it from a different viewpoint here. As I stated before, when we first started this episode, that, you know, black sheep, you can look at that from the aspect of families. You can look at it from the aspect of relationships, friendships. You can also look at it from a professional standpoint as well. And I'm joined here by Yae Bishop. You guys already know the master that he is.
Yeah.
So if you're just joining us, welcome. And y'all know me. Y'all
Yeah,
have been
welcome.
rocking with me for 3 seasons. I can't even believe 3 seasons.
Yeah,
Jesus
thank you.
Christ. Lord,
gotta get hand claps to that.
Lord, three seasons. So y'all know when I get like guests on here, I'd like to brag. So I'm pretty much gonna brag throughout this episode here. So in terms of music, I do want to say this to you.
Right.
I remember when I first realized that you were doing music, and you know how it is. You run across everybody that says they does some kind of music.
Yeah.
But it's rare that you find really somebody who does
music.
Yeah. So when I first, for a little backstory here, I met Yae in probably my freshman sophomore year
Yeah,
of high
because we was
school.
going to the same church about that.
Yeah. That's when I first met Yae. And I remember how I really heard him. I heard him freestyle. And I was like, okay, who's that? And I knew the voice, but I couldn't pinpoint who it was until I walked up. And this is when I was in music. I was doing music at the time. And I was like, okay, I know the voice. And when I walked up and I saw him, I was like, nah, that can't be him. It can't be him. Because when we went to church, he would never talk. He wouldn't say nothing. I know I wouldn't talk, but he wouldn't say nothing. I would see him. He would just keep on. So when I saw him, I was like, wait. And then I had a conversation with him. I was like, okay, you do music for real? He was like, yeah. And this is when SoundCloud was big at the time. He gave me the link to his SoundCloud, and I was sitting there listening. I was like, yo. And at first, when I was listening, I was like, wait, this sounds like Nas or somebody. This can't be the same person I met. And I remember we had a conversation about, okay, I'm trying to put together this team. I need you on this team. I need you on this team. And yeah. And so I remember him telling me, I'll join, but I have things that I want to do too.
Yeah.
And you've always been that type of person where I'm in the group, but the group does not define me.
Yeah.
Where does that come from for you?
That's a great question.
I felt good about the way I built that up too. That was
that was a good setup. we had Phase, we had what?
We had Phase, we had
Uno.
Yep.
And Desi.
Yep.
Yeah, we had a whole bunch of cats up in there. So I mean it was just, you know, and I'm not taking it away from them because they talented artists, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's just I just was like, I got a vision of what I want to do, like the music I want to put out. And just so is them, because when you listen to their music, like all of us have individually different sounds, especially Uno, he got a different sound. Faye's got a different sound. Desi got a different sound. I got a different sound. So that's just what the whole thing was. And like, it wasn't like I was just like, man, I'm better than these niggas. I'm just like, no, you know what I'm saying? I'm with the group. We can do music together. But I'm just saying, like, I also want them to, the audience, to also come into my world individually and take a look at what I got, you know what I mean? What I got going on. And so, I don't know. That's just really what I was just thinking about. Really was just like, it wasn't like knocking anybody's credit, like creative ideas or just, you know what I mean, creativity, none of that. It was just, I felt like I needed to get my message across as well. Like, and that's just where that came from, really, just being like that. Like, I'll help you out. I just got to just get my message across, make sure my message is being put across the way I want it to be put across. So, I don't know. That's just where it came from, really. Like,
so, if we take that and we shift that in terms of that black sheep concept.
Right.
In those moments, and I don't remember asking, I probably did, but I don't remember. Do you feel like at that time that was the thought in your mind? When it came to how you said everybody had their individual sounds.
Yeah.
It was all one team, but still you guys were able to be individuals, and
Yeah,
they had
versatile as
their
well.
following. This person had their following. You had your following. Do you feel like at that time in the back of your mind that that concept was a thing for you?
I feel like it was a thing. Um, yeah, I feel like it was a thing. The concept was just like without me really knowing it. I'll say it took me a little bit later for me to realize like that's that like I had that concept down, but yeah, I can say that was the concept I was going by without knowing it. Like, and I don't know. I kind of look at it um like made me question like did that kind of hinder me from like really expanding with these guys or really like connecting and like what would have happened if we didn't have that concept? What would have happened if we had a different concept? So I kind of question things, but I mean, yeah, I had that concept back there.
So if you're just joining, once again, I have Yae Bishop here on the show, and you know it's crazy. The first season of this show, y'all didn't know it. Well, a lot of y'all knew it because y'all were hitting me up about it. The
Right.
song was Black Sheep. The theme song was Black Sheep
Right. Yeah.
for the first season. Um, what inspired that song? I'm gonna go back into the conversation, but I want to know what
Okay.
inspired that song.
Um, I was. I ain't trying to bust nobody out, but I mean, I was trying to around about that time I was trying to do shows, and I just wasn't nobody really trying to let me through the door, and I don't know. I just needed to make a song. I don't know. I just felt like wasn't nobody, like I said, like trying to take in my music, and they just wasn't respecting what I had going on. And it's me as a musician, so that's why I just was like I put that all into that song, like and it just was just more like, well, forget it. If I gotta be, if y'all ain't gonna rock with me, I'm gonna just do my own thing, and I'm gonna do it in the best way possible. So that's what just is more like the Black Sheep hook to the lyrics. I mean, you just gotta listen to the song closely in order to see what I'm talking about. Cause like I said, like, and I'm not knocking anybody that's a fan, like even
Mhm.
around about that time, like, you know what I mean? It's just like I appreciate it. It's just, you know what I mean? Sometimes some people look at that's not enough for some people. You know what I'm saying? They just, you know, it'd be kind of hard for you to get your foot through the door with some people. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's just what it was coming from. Like, cause like I said, I was trying to get shows and, you know, I was trying to get my feet through the door. And you know what I mean? It just wasn't working. So I was like, all right. No, eventually I started getting shows out here, but you know what I'm saying? Or I started doing shows out here in Fayetteville. But you know, yeah, that's where it really would come from. Around about that time, that's the state I was in, that's the mode I was in. And I felt like I needed to write about it and let other people know who may be in my shoes in their city or something like that. Let them know, like, look, I'm going through it too. Like, bro, this song's for you. Like, just keep doing your thing. Like, you can be the Black Sheep, just use it to your advantage. Like, and that's why I wrote the song, really.
So I wanna tell you, keep doing what you're doing. I'm gonna jump back into the conversation, but I tell you this all the time. Keep doing what you're doing. I will put money that I don't have on the fact that I wouldn't put anybody bar for bar with you.
Yeah, appreciate it,
I,
man.
I'll stand by that statement. Um, Jumping back into the conversation, in those moments where you felt that that concept of the black sheep was kind of hanging over you in those moments,
You said
I
that again?
in those moments of you feeling like that black sheep concept was kind of hanging over your head in those moments,
Right.
how did you really like mentally think about it? Like how did that really go through your mind? Because I know for me at those moments, whenever there was some kind of situation popping up or something that was and you knew a lot of the things I was going through at that time.
Yeah.
I knew that there were moments where I needed to kind of get away.
Right.
How did you deal with that? Was there like a mental health day for you? Was there a time where you just let me chill for a minute?
Yeah, I can say because you got to just take a break sometimes, and you know what I mean. And like you said, where you just get your mental health together, take care of yourself. You know what I mean? And but music really is like that tool that helps me get away. You know what I mean? When everything is just, you know, on my shoulders. If it's not that, then you know what I mean. Just try to just, take a drive, read a book, do something. You know what I mean? Just to take my mind off of things, just to, you know, get to that level spot that I need to be at. But I want to get back into meditating and everything. But right now that's just, music is what I'm using as my tool, or to get away from things. So that's the reason why, yeah.
So
That's mainly how I go about things.
in those moments of when you were feeling the way that you felt and you were dealing, I remember you texted me, and I remember when you first told me about commission,
Mhm.
and I remember you were like, after this, I mean, like, you were probably the only one at that time that was like doing full complete albums.
Yeah.
So you were like, after this album, I think I'm done for a minute. And I was like, wait, done? What you mean you done?
Yeah.
And you were like, I think I'm gonna step away from, I think we were the Mafia at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And you were like, I'm gonna step away from, and if y'all are wondering what we talking about when we're saying the Mafia, back in a couple years ago, I had a music, what would I say? We were a brand
Yeah, he was a brand, a music group, all that. A
that
record label. Yeah.
specialized in music. We were, like he said, a record label. We were management for some.
Yeah.
And I had a team of a good bit of people before I finally got the number to where I wanted to be. I had a bunch of people. Like, we really had Fayetteville on lock for a hot minute.
Yeah.
And at the time, there were a lot of things happening that kind of shifted where that brand went. And I remember when you told me about commission, and I remember you telling me you needed to step away. And I was like, wait, whoa, I wasn't prepared for you
Yeah.
to step away. And I remember once you explained to me, that this was something you had to do, I understood why you needed to take that step. What did that moment mean for you when you said, hey, this is something I got to do? I have to do it. What did that mean for you, especially when you had that black sheep cloud hanging in the back? What did that mean for you to do that?
It meant, like, at that moment, like, what was I thinking about at that moment? Like, when I did that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just felt like, this was me. This was, I needed something that was me. You know what I mean? The group was the group. That's why I was like, everybody had their own thing in the group. It was more like damn near black hippie, you know what I mean? Almost. Because we had a bunch of versatile, like, people that were just lyricists. We had crazy people up in there. So, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I didn't want to be a part of the group. It just was like, man, I had to do my own thing. I got a message to get across. And it's just like, and around about that time, I don't know, we weren't really working with each other like that either.
Yeah.
We weren't working with each other. We didn't even do a song with each other. You know what I mean? So, and I remember we was trying to do beats and all that. Like, you told me to send a couple of beats, you know what I mean? And like I said, we just ain't never get a chance to work with each other. So I just felt like, well, dang, all right, it's time for me to focus on what I got going on and focus on the vision and focus on what I'm trying to get to. And that's how that came across. Because it wasn't like you was doing your part by just like trying to get people to connect with each other and get us to, you know what I mean, hey, get on the track, get on this beat, get on this track, get on this, you know what I mean? You was doing your part. It's just, I don't know, you know what I mean? They wasn't, you know what I mean? At the time, it just was hard to, I guess it was hard for people to get it, to get that part, to get the message on what you was trying to get done. So like I said, it was like, okay, well, sure, I'm gonna do my own thing, start commission. Because even with commission, I was like, sure, I'm willing to involve you with that. Like, it wasn't even like I just like blocked the whole movement out. It was just like, look, all right, you know what I'm saying? I just wasn't feeling like anybody was serious at that moment, except you. And I'm like, well, all right, let me do my thing then. And then that's the way I was going about it. So that was in my mind at that time. Like, that's how I was going about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I was just like, I was still keeping in contact with you. I was still telling you what I had going on. And that didn't stop. You know what I'm saying? It just, like I said, I need something for me. And that's how that went.
Rode through the town, escalating the mount. Rode through the town, escalating the mounts. Rode through the town, escalating the mount. Rode through the town, escalating the mounts.
Prepping up on my business, be damned if I be last. Late night making plans on how to maintain when getting.
Stop.